My dear friends, once more, good morning. I think one of the most powerful qualities of the Gospels, one of the most powerful qualities of the teachings of Christ is the fact that his teachings are somewhat transcendental. They seem to transcend any little categorization that we could give to, in a sense, to society. When we think about the fact that Jesus gave us the Gospels over 2,000 years ago, and every time we listen to them, they seem to be extremely relevant, and they seem to be very applicable even in our own day and time. The other day I was reading an article, was like an article from a Psychology magazine, and it was talking about the rate of growth, the progression that children make in growth. And it said that by the time a child gets to the age of 3, they have developed or at least formed themselves emotionally. So they have a full emotional response, a full emotional development. And by the time they are getting to about the age of 6, then most of their habits have already been formed. And by the time they are getting to the age of about 9, most of their character is already been founded. And everything up beyond that point is simply an adaptability process where they are trying to adapt to one of the realities that they find before them. But in essence, by the time we turn 9 years old, it is almost as if we are fully formed. This past week, I've been hosting some friends of mine. And last night, I'm not sure what happened, but we decided we're going to sing some hymns from our childhood. And we spent about an hour singing songs that we used to sing in church when we were little boys. And it was such a elating moment for us. It was such a lighthearted moment. Brought us so much joy. And of course, we are all there with the cameras trying to record this, and everybody's trying to record it. And we're just trying to keep those memories. Because those songs that we sung when we were little boys in church in Cameroon somehow formed, constitute the foundation of our formation. And I think that's precisely what Jesus is saying in today's gospel. Because Jesus places before us a child as a symbol of the kingdom of heaven. And by placing a child as a symbol of the kingdom of heaven, I think it is a reminder to each one of us that as children, we develop all the formation necessary that we shall need for the rest of our lives. And I think what Jesus is saying is not necessarily asking us to use children as an example. But I think what Jesus is saying is that for each one of us, the basic seeds for both our moral and our spiritual formation were already placed into us by the time we turned 7 or 8 years old. And that all we need to do beyond this point is simply trying to go back into those resources, trying to tap them and to apply them as we get older. You know, there's something that so many people apply to themselves, and it is the fact that we always romanticize our childhood. Everyone thinks that the way they grew up, the environment in which they grew up, the values and the things they held as children are the best. Everybody, in essence, tries to romanticize their childhood. And the reason why we romanticize our childhood is because that is when the seeds that are essential for our growth are planted. In 1910, Pope Pius X decided to declare that the age of discretion is 7 years old. And it was in 1910 that the Pope decided to reduce the age for first confession and first communion to 7. Because the Pope believed that at that age we were fully formed to be able to have a meaningful relationship with God. So when in today's gospel Jesus places before us a child as a symbol of the kingdom of heaven, it is a reminder to each one of us also to intentionally go back to our childhood. Go back to those values. Go back to those seeds. Go back to those things that were handed to us. And let us think about them. Let us think about the value that those things have. And let us try to apply them into our lives in an intentional way as we go forward. In the end, after a certain age in our lives, it is nothing but a process of adaptability, trying to adapt to all the things that we have received. And that is precisely why Jesus tells us in today's gospel, we need to go back to our childhood. We need to go back to when we were children. because that is when the most essential seeds were planted. In this celebration of the Holy Eucharist, may Jesus give us the grace not only to look at our childhood, but to incorporate those basic and those important values, those teachings that could help each one of us truly, not only to simply follow the gospel, but to dispose ourselves so that our relationship with Jesus Christ will be meaningful now and for all our days here on earth. Praise God.